Good morning everybody, welcome to Iridium Rock and Metal Review. So today we're going to carry on with the best songs of the year. So we're up to 2004 and this has actually seen the birth of one of my favourite bands to this day. So we'll get around to that. But we've got 8, which is pretty good. 8 songs. It's not bad. I think I had like five or six albums, so with my top albums. So there's some decent songs. That means there's some decent songs off some not so good albums, if you like, that came out. There always is, you know. It's consistency in it with a lot of bands that they can't get, but there's some really good songs. So we're gonna go from 8 to 1, the usual. 8 being my least favourite of the best songs of the year. So number 8, Tesla. What a shame, from Into the Now. So yeah, they had a bit of a break, Tesla, and they came back with Into the Now, which is a real decent album. They've had better, in my opinion, since that album, but it was a pretty good go at, you know, their old sound, what they used to sound like. So I was really happy with this album. And What a Shame is a great song. It's got those, like, and Tesla are very, although it's not at the forefront of their music, they have got tinges, if you like, of southern music, and you know how I feel about some southern music, and I love that about Tesla. I love it when they get their southern groove on a little bit. So that's my number 8. My number 7, Primal Fear, The Healer. So, you know, when it comes to Primal Fear, I love their epic, you know, 6 or 7 minute cuts, and this is one of them. Lovely, like, slow song, like I said, that sounds really epic and bombastic, if you like. It's from the Devil's Ground album. See, they were really hitting the ground running now. Their first album was like pure metal. Then they've started finding their way a little bit more, probably getting away from that Priest sound more and more, you know, and showing what great musicians they are, this band. Absolutely love Primal Fear. That's my number 7. My number 6, so this wouldn't have appeared on my list, but it did because I went and looked at the catalogue that I missed through the 2000s. That's Dio, The Man Who Would Be King, from Master of the Moon. So this is a great album. It's like got a lot of like organ playing in this one, like, you know, but then there's some real epic-y sort of, like, that sort of slow plodding thing that Dio's really good at. Master of the Moon is a pretty good album as well, but The Man Who Would Be King is my favourite song from that. That's my number 6. My number 5. So these haven't appeared on my list at any stage, mainly because, well, they're metalcore, and I'm not really into that. As everyone will know on this channel, I'm not really into the screaming and shouting sort of stuff, but this is one brilliant song, and that's Kill Switch Engage, The End of Heartache, from the End of Heartache album. This is actually was used in the film, one of the Resident Evil films, I think. But the guitar, I absolutely love the guitar work on this, and it's got a real catchy melody to that chorus as well. You know, there is some screaming in this one, but it's right on the cusp for me of where it's acceptable, if you know what I mean. But a great song, The End of Heartache. I mean, you can get into this, like me, you know, I'm not into that metalcore stuff, but this is one of them songs that you can, you know, is really a really cool song. I absolutely love that. Well, that's my number 5. My number 4, back to one of my favourite singers, Jawn, and Out to Every Nation, off the Out to Every Nation album. I love this. I love this. It's like, starts with a little, just a guitar and his voice, like voice in the background, and then it kicks in, and the power in this guy's voice, really bringing his covered El Dio traits on again. Absolutely love it. If there's anyone out there that hasn't heard or don't get into Jawn, you know, you got to give it a go. You really have. He is one superb singer. That's my number 4. My number 3. So we're getting into some metal territory again. Slipknot and Duality, of Volume 3, the Subliminal Verses. It's early, sorry. So yeah, this is my favourite Slipknot album. There's a few off here I could have chosen. There's some slower songs as well, but I think Duality, and you know, I always talk about when it comes to the screaming or shouting sort of stuff, the limit, what the limit is for me of acceptable. And I think this is right on this is just, you know, he's really going for it, Corey Taylor, but he never gets into that so much screaming that it puts me off. You can hear every word. I absolutely love Duality, and that video that goes along with it is absolutely superb. Brilliant song. That's my number 3. Number 2, it's nearly got my number 1. This was like, oh, I don't know. It's so epic. But Iced Earth and the Gettysburg trilogy. So anyone who's never heard this song, it's basically in 3 parts. Altogether, it's 33 minutes long. And it's about the Battle of Gettysburg. And it's absolutely epic as you can get it. I love this album. Tim Ripper Owens' debut album with Iced Earth. I know a lot of people don't think much of him with Iced Earth. You know, they just wanted Matt Barlow in the band. But, you know, I think a lot of their singers have done great. Stu Block's done great as well now. But Gettysburg is the ultimate in epic. Honestly, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. 33 minutes of heavy metal that's out of this world. Honestly, I love that song. I never get bored of it. You know, it's not one of them songs that I say 33 minutes long. I know it's in 3 parts, but you would think there'd be bits that are quite slow in it. It's not. It really keeps your attention. I love Gettysburg. That's my number 2. And my number 1 is what I'm saying about one of my favourite bands. This was the birth of Alter Bridge, and I chose Broken Wings off One Day Remains. So I could have chosen a few other songs. I'm not even sure if it switched around since my top Alter Bridge tracks video. I was going to check it out to see what my top track was, but at the moment I'm looking at the album and I chose Broken Wings. It's such a classic. Whenever it comes on in my car, you know, I always sing along to it. It's absolutely brilliant. And One Day Remains obviously was the birth of one of the greatest bands that's ever graced this earth. And you know, I always talk about, out of all the Alter Bridge albums, the top 4 for me, I've got a top 4, which is every one of them apart from the last 2, even though the last 2 are good, but the 4 before it are like, they're so up there, they're like my number 1. You know, they can switch around from my favourite album. And, you know, sometimes One Day Remains can be my favourite Alter Bridge album as well. It's got so much nostalgia now with it, you know, it's quite old now. And these were, I mean, obviously, this is the album that had probably the most Creed influence, but it just brought it to a new level, obviously, with Miles Kennedy singing, you know. And I think he was at his strongest over the first 2 or 3 albums. That's when he was so powerful. Even though he's got a good voice now, you know, I don't want to cause any trouble. But back then, wow, you know, no one can match him, you know what I mean? So that's it. That's my 2004 done. Pretty good. 8. That's good. So thanks for listening. If you think I've missed anything, or, you know, tell me your top 5 or 8 or top 2, whatever you want to do. What do you reckon I'm going to be on 2005? You can let me know. Let me know if there's anything I might have missed or you think I should add to 2005 before I do it. Hurry up though. Right. Thanks for listening. Please press the red button if you want to subscribe. It's at the bottom of the screen on the right hand corner.